Gosh, what attracted me was just the idea of something being bigger than I could do myself. I've always been told that I couldn't do things growing up, and just having something that I was passionate about and being driven, that was attractive to me. I wanted something that I could be competitive with and still love what I do. So, gosh, it's actually 2 years this month. So not very long. I'm pretty young to be in the industry, but it's taken off by storm for me very quickly, and I think that's why I love it so much, is because anything is possible. Even at a young age, you can, start and be wherever you want to be within just a couple of years. Well, I feel like I'm still learning. I am very new to this, and I feel like everything's constantly changing anyways, so you have to be open to adapting to just new techniques and all of that. But I would say within the first year with my first company, I started to really understand just the fundamental skills of inviting people and sharing a product, sharing an opportunity, following up, and building relationships. Well, I do it full time. I'm just a stay-at-home working mom. I send my toddler to daycare every day so that I can work my business during the day and still have family time at night. But I say I put in a full 8 to 10 hours a day probably. It's my job, so I put in as much time as I can. I really build on social media. I'm a homebody and I'm an introvert, kind of just disguised in an extrovert's body. So I talk to a lot of people on social media, communicate with them throughout the day. That's when I'm doing follow-ups, that's when I'm doing team trainings. I'm very interactive with my team. And with a toddler running around, I kind of have to do anything that I'm recording for social media during the day, and then in the evening I can work on just following up with people that I may have missed. Maybe there's somebody that works during the day, unlike me. So I kind of just break down my day like that based off of my toddler's schedule. Everything. And personal development is everything to me. I had a very, very rough childhood, so coming into something like this and putting myself out there and really just exposing who I am and why I am the way that I am, that's going to take a lot of backlash from people, whether you want it to or not. People are always going to have something to say about what you're doing. And if you don't work on yourself constantly, if you don't work on your mindset and the headspace that you're always in, that stuff's really going to get to you and you're not going to make it very far. I had a lot of judgmental people in my life when I first started with this, and I don't even know where they are anymore. So really just self-confidence. Growing up, I had a very abusive stepfather, just verbally, mentally. And I truly believed that I would never be of anything. I didn't finish college. I got pregnant prior to being married, and then I ended up taking a call center job just so I could have insurance. And I can remember sitting in the call center and this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, but what else am I gonna do? I was always told that I'm not ever gonna accomplish anything. So that really started to take a toll on me. And when my depression and my anxiety kick in, I had to turn to something else, and that was network marketing, which personal development is a huge part of it. So you just have to. It's kind of a crazy story, but my stepfather attempted suicide. So he physically can't tell me that I'm not capable of doing something anymore, and that in itself is extremely motivating. He's still with us today, and for somebody to have put me down my entire life and then now not to be able to verbally express something to me ever again, that was enough for me to be okay, I can take control and I am capable of so much more. And not only are the words that you have said to me non-important anymore, they're never going to be, because you're physically not capable of saying them. You Are a Badass is probably my favorite. I've read a lot of network marketing books too, but the personal development side of it is more of a motivator for me. I love that book. It was probably a pivotal book in my career. It changes, but it's especially starting out, you have to have something to drive you. The first year is going to be the hardest, and if you start out with nothing other than, I just want to make a couple $100 a month, then you'll probably do that, but that's probably all that you'll ever do. But in the first year, you're definitely going to question yourself, and you're going to question if this is the right thing for you. It's hard, it's not easy, and it's stepping out of your comfort zone in so many ways that you probably don't even realize when you first get started. So having something to go back to and remind you why you're doing it, why you're being pushed and pulled in all these different directions is key. It is absolutely key. I think for me, it was just actually accomplishing something, because for a while everybody doubts you, and just doing everything that I knew it took was out of my comfort zone. I'm not typically a people person. Going out to events, networking with people, being on the phone with somebody, like an actual phone conversation, is completely out of my comfort zone. So, and that's just because of my age. That's nobody's fault. But that in itself was hard, because that's what this is. It's a relationship business. Everything is based off of relationships, emotions, and you have to open up to people. You have to let people see your authentic self, and that's open to a lot of criticism too. So, gosh, I made a ton of mistakes when I first started. I was so excited that I just shared the opportunity with everyone, like literally vomiting everything about my company on every single person that I came in contact with. And I see a lot of that too, even just over the form of like a private message on Facebook, cold messaging. It's just not the best way to build your business. You may be told that it is, but that is probably the number one thing that I'm seeing, and I think kind of gives the entire industry a bad rep. But I did it too. I did it probably for the first 4 months with my first company until I realized, wow, like this is not working. I wonder why nobody does this. So, it's just part of the learning process if you're going to take it seriously, I think. But I definitely have to follow my planner and just keep everything in check, hold myself accountable. One of my best friends is my accountability partner, and she'll call me if, I'm not doing something on social media that she normally sees me doing. She'll say like, hey, your profile looks like an ad right now. Like, you need to get on there and be a real person and like show us what you're doing this summer. So I think having an accountability partner is huge, and just holding yourself accountable with a planner or a calendar or your phone or whatever you use. But the partner that knows you really well is huge. It's definitely an area that I think we all struggle with in this industry, because we're so passionate about what we do that it doesn't necessarily feel like we're working all the time. I have this like joke that I talk about with my husband, but he loves fishing. Like, he loves it. He will sit and play this fishing game on his phone for like an hour if he doesn't have anything to do. And I'm like, can you imagine getting paid to sit there and catch fish on your phone? Like, it's the same kind of adrenaline rush to me. When somebody messages me and they're interested in my product or my opportunity, I'm excited to get back to them right away. It's not that I feel like I'm responding to like a work email or something. So it's definitely something that I struggle with. But now that I'm full-time at home, I'm able to really block my time out and just plan ahead. In the evenings, once my son gets home from daycare and my husband's home from work, there's definitely at least a few hours that I'm not going to be responding to messages. I'm not going to really even be on my phone, and you just have to be conscious about it. It is super important. I don't think it is the only way, but it's going to be the quickest and most efficient way for you to build your business. It's a very competitive industry, and I'm a very competitive person. So I love just the incentives, being able to work towards checking things off my bucket list. I've gotten to travel, I can't even count how many times in the past 2 years, thanks to this industry, and I'd never really traveled before. Now I can walk through the airport by myself and get on a plane, and I don't have to have somebody there with me. Like, that's all huge accomplishments for me. And it's exciting because it just keeps getting better. I'm working for a cruise now. I've never been on a cruise before. That's all what comes along with it, on top of having a product and an opportunity to offer people that actually helps them. That's just super satisfying and rewarding. Well, it's definitely, I think as a younger generation, it's not the norm. We're kind of the minority in the industry. So you're going to take a lot of heat from people telling you that the way you're doing it is not the right way, or just confused by how you're doing it. But you just have to be consistent and persistently try to be better every single day, and you'll get to where you want to get. But just know that you are the minority, and most people aren't going to understand how you're doing it because we operate differently. And I'm okay with that. I like being different. So, I would say an advantage, just because I know how to operate social media. And I kind of have that I don't really care attitude that a lot of people don't have. They have to develop. So for me, I would say it's an advantage. I am with Monate Global. We are the first and only anti-aging hair care company. So our primary focus is hair care. What excites me the most about that is there's no other company like that. So we have so much room to actually impact people's lives. It's a product that I truly believe will be a household name in the next 5 years. But it's just exciting being a part of something that is so revolutionary and nobody's really been a part of it before. So that really drives me. It's exciting every single day. They keep just bringing on new products monthly, and I didn't have that with my previous company. It was a good 6 to 8 months between a product launch, and I didn't feel like that was efficient in promoting a business. So now that somebody's keeping up with my speed, that's exciting. I'm fast.